That was an interesting answer, wasn't it? So I hope you've enjoyed that question. Kay, before we went on our break, we were just talking about the Black Youth Achievement Awards and how your first nomination came from Nigeria. But just before we continue from that, just tell us a little bit about yourself, how you started out, and because I can't believe this, ladies and gentlemen. She is a mother of 2 teenagers. Can I say that? I couldn't believe it. You look like 21.
Yeah, I get that response all the time.
My goodness. So tell us about your background and why you decided to start this.
My background has been in education, in housing, and my most recent job was as an employment advisor, which I'm no longer doing. The reason why I started doing this, I literally woke up in the middle of the night last February and I said, I'm going to put on an award ceremony.
Wow.
And it really just materialised from there.
My God, that is amazing, And but there must be something that triggered that. It must be something you've always wanted to do. It must be like something that happened to you, or maybe, I don't know, like a family. You just woke up and you said that was it. And how did you go about this? This is inspiring. You have a dream. Remember Martin Luther King? We had a dream, but he had a dream. Now we have a dream. So you had this dream and you thought, okay, that's it. I'm going to do it.
That's what I'm going to do. And I spoke to a couple of friends and they were like, yeah, okay then, Kay. Won't follow it through.
Yeah.
So they're like, okay, we'll see. But then the website was launched in September and they were like, okay, we can't believe you actually went through with it. And it literally just did start from waking up in the middle of the night and then just following it through. Because
people are watching the show, you know how we get very, not lazy, but we become despondent when we have a dream. So the fact that you've actually got up and do this and it's now picking up and it's gathering momentum. Tell us the process. So you woke up, I know you had this dream. Is it a charity, this organisation?
It's registered as a community interest company, which is a non-profit organisation.
And how did you go about doing that?
I just researched on the internet, registered it at Companies House and then took it from there. I got advice from certain people who I knew within like business training and consultancy and they, showed me certain directions that I could go in. But most of all, it's just like on the internet at all hours, finding out what I should be doing, talking to different people. I've had a lot of genuine interest as well from people coming to me and saying, right, this is what we can do. I'd love to be involved. And, it's really nice to see that out there we can all be supporting each other. Despite the negativity that goes on, there's just so many great people out there that are willing to help. So it's been very heartwarming, definitely.
But could it be that sometimes, I always think with negativity, it's just because people don't know there are solutions. This is why they just create barriers for themselves because they don't know how. Because I always believe that once you know how to do things, it becomes a positive thing as opposed to a negative thing.
Yeah.
So, but what have you learned along the way, Kay, in setting this up? What have you learned? What would you say, because this is an inspirational show, we want to inspire the audience because there you are, you had a dream, you woke up, you set it up, you went to Companies House, you researched, you registered it, you spoke to the right people. What have you learned as you progress?
I have learned that if you actually find something that you've got a passion for and you're really enjoying doing it, it becomes very easy.
Yeah.
I mean, I've had so many jobs in my life and I'm bored after 6 months. So I now know that when you find something that you love, you will continue doing it and it will grow and grow. And you have to find your niche.
Yeah.
And, if you leave school at 16 and you don't know what you're meant to be doing, then don't feel pressurized to go into something. Find out what you're, internally, what makes you tick, what motivates you, and follow that through. Network, talk to people, find out about all the opportunities that are out there. Traveling's really important. If you can't go abroad, travel in London. You don't have to stay in your one area.
Yeah, many people don't travel around London, or travel around England. And it's just such a beautiful country, I should say. More people should do that.
Definitely, definitely.
That's a way of also growing, isn't it?
You learn a lot about yourself. You find out what your strengths are, what your weaknesses are, and then with your weaknesses you can work on them because you can always turn it around into a strength. And there are people out there that can help you with that, and it's a mutual benefit.
But that is good. And what have been the challenges that you've encountered?
Challenges, I mean, money-wise has been a challenge, but there always seems to be a way to overcome that. When you feel that you can't go that much further, I have found that something has always come to me. Yeah, so...
Oh, that's so nice. I want to cry.
I think if you're doing good, good will always come back to you.
That is true. That is, and what would you like to say to the audience, I mean, today, I mean, apart from the event that's going to happen, because obviously people are going to be able to log onto your website, which is going to come up on the screen, and they can obviously register. But what would you like to say to the audience, I know this is putting you on the spot,
It
but
is
we like
putting
to
me on
do
the spot.
it,
I think, as I said before, you know, find out who you are.
Yeah.
Don't feel pressurized by other people
Yeah.
to make a very quick decision about what you want to do.
Yeah.
And just, you know, experiment. And if
Yeah.
people are given good options, they can make good choices. I find that with a lot of young people, they don't know what their options are, so they're making bad decisions which are detrimental to them.
Yeah.
And you have to be careful of the company that you're keeping.
I was just about to say, because that is always going to influence you.
Yeah.
You know? Especially as nowadays, most parents do work. The, you know, mother works, father works, and the kids are normally, or most of the time, left to their own devices. So it's very important. But I'm just trying to think, how do you, what about your kids? How do you actually, can I ask
Juggle
you,
all of
juggle
that.
all of it? How do you mentor them? You know, how do you help them to be an upright citizen, for a better word?
You know, I mean, with my daughter, she's into music, she's into photography. So it's a case, as I said, giving her options, showing her, okay, if you go and do this course or go and do that, then she will learn to see, right, does she actually want to do this long term? Or is it just one of those, you know, fleeting moments? But, you know, give your children opportunities, push them out there. And, you know, being a parent is hard work. You're not always going to get it right.
Tell me.
Yeah, we're not perfect as people, you know, as parents. When you get things wrong, you have to learn from it. But I think, you know, speak to your children. Don't talk down to them. Have a conversation with them. They're not always going to tell you what's going on, but you've got to keep, you know, you've got to have that third eye to try and see what is actually going on, read between the lines as well. But it is hard work.
But do you know your daughter's friends? Because obviously that's, you know all your daughter's friends.
Not all of them,
but
not all of them. But you know, they're always welcome in my home, because if she's at home and her friends are in my house, I know where she is, and then I know where they are as well.
Oh, you're just keeping an eye on her, really. I hope you're watching this. Your mom is actually keeping an eye on you, you know. She doesn't tell you that. She just wants you to stay home.
That's right.
Oh, she goes, oh, I'm cooking something nice for you. Just stay home. And you goes, okay, Mom.
Yeah, so
your friends as well.
If she says, can my friends come over? I'm like, yes, bring them all over, because then I know where you are. As I said, my son is 19, so, you know, he's been through certain things, but, you know, thankfully he's not got into anything serious. And with him, he needs to find out where he wants to go now. So again, I've got to provide him with those opportunities. They're both working with me on the awards. They're going to be there on the night working as well. So they'll get to meet a lot of people and see where it
is. I was asking you this, you might be wondering, is because I wanted to see how it fits into your passion. So this follows the fact that, okay, you have kids as well, and people can relate to the fact that, you know, you understand where they're coming from. That's why you believe that they need to be rewarded. I mean, in terms of through these awards as well. And I also find that with many black men, young black men, I think that they need to be recognized more. They seem to have been not abandoned, but ignore is the word, and many focuses have been on the women, but we need to encourage them more, and I take it that this nomination you're doing, the award you're doing, will probably recognize it as well.
Oh, definitely. I mean, as you say, the focus is on women a lot of the time, and the boys have been pushed to one side in a way, and any time that the media focuses on them, it's for something negative. That has got to turn around. There's a whole generation out there that is being lost, you know, and we've got babies growing up as well. They see on the news, they receive all these messages that the way for them to grow up is to be what the media is portraying, and that has got to stop. We've got to be careful with the images that we're putting into our home, the language that we use. I mean, I never use the word disadvantage, because when you link that word with the black community, already you're growing up thinking, well, you know, I am disadvantaged because I'm black. We have to stop that. So, it's, you know, the language has to be chosen very carefully when we're talking.
Okay, thank you very much indeed. You see, we have another guest coming later in the series called Change Your Mind. So we'll be talking about that as well, because one of the things we're going to be, you know, talking about is how people can change your mind. Change what people think of you, people's perception of you. Because once you start believing that what people think of you is who you are, you're lost. You know, you have to realize that you're an individual person and you have a purpose.
Definitely.
So, so
you have to wake up every day and say, you know what, I love myself.
Oh, we love you too, Kay. We love Kay, don't we, ladies and gentlemen? We just love you too. And love yourself. That is something, that's an affirmation you have to use every morning. And I don't think that matters how old you are, how young you are. You know, you just have to just wake up in the morning and say, love yourself, and leave the home smiling as well. You know, you have to smile when you leave the home. So, Kay, thank you very much indeed for being here on the Rhoda Wilson Show. We're delighted to have you here. And this is me watching the show. Until next week when I have another interesting guest, goodbye.